American family of 5 here on vacation in Italy, and we decided to, for economic reasons, we're going with this new rental service called Virtuo, where you rent a Tesla. And we're driving over 2,000 kilometers on our trip over the course of 2 weeks. So I wanted to kind of, for informational purposes, talk about the service and talk about, the vehicle and how it all works out, because it's really, there's some minor stresses that you have to put up with, but it's really pretty phenomenal. So it's a Tesla Model 3 that we rented. Actually, not all Virtuo cars are Teslas, but they have a lot of them. We picked it up in Milan at the Milano Centrale station, and so far we've driven it to Cinque Terre and then down to Corsica, and then back over here to mainland Italy. Here we're at a Tesla supercharger outside of Florence. So a couple things first about the vehicle. We've just been keeping like our dirty laundry in the frunk, and then all of our luggage back here in the trunk, which is actually really spacious for a mid-sized car. So it's actually been pretty good. We did get a car seat from Virtuo. They put it in the car when you picked it up. I've literally had 0 interactions with a human being. I walked into the Milan garage, the car was there. I used my cell phone to unlock it. I use my cell phone for everything with the Virtuo app. So you unlock it, you lock it. Sometimes it's a little inconvenient because if you got a bad cell network service, I use T-Mobile. But if, typically we've only had a couple bars of service around here, so it can be a little funky. But the bottom line is, you use your phone, you open the app, you unlock the car, you immediately start driving. One of the major benefits is you have the big Tesla navigation screen, and yeah, it took me a minute to figure out how to put it in English. It was in Portuguese from the last renter, but once I did, it's really been a blessing to have that big screen that you just plug in your destination and it'll show you where to go everywhere, including locating the superchargers. One downside is that it's not always right. We've had some difficulties in inner cities specifically. The Tesla navigation isn't as good as Google, so we'd go to Google too, and we'd make sure it was working with Google. One important thing is the economics. The economics I want to talk about for a sec. One reason we went with this is to get a regular rental car out of the Milan airport for 2 weeks, even just a small SUV, like a really small one, was about $1,500 more or less. That's before insurance or anything. I could rent this for 2 weeks for $500, which is, why not? Why wouldn't you do it? Plus, all the charging is free, provided you're at a supercharger. And that's probably saving another, I estimate, probably $300 or $400 if you're looking at the economics of driving a small SUV. Say you're getting 40 miles a gallon with a diesel or something, but you're driving 1,200 miles equivalent. It's 30 gallons, $8 a gallon or something like that. You're talking, $250 or something like that. So anyways, that's additional savings from driving the electric car. The charging stations, has been a problem. On the entire island of Corsica, on Tesla's website, there was one charging station. It wasn't even a supercharger. And we actually stayed at the place right there. Well, guess what? It didn't work. We tried to use other chargers that were very slow and very, also did not work. Very unreliable. We found one that worked that we had to drive to. The extra auxiliary cords come in the trunk of this car, but it still hardly worked and took a really long time and charged very slow. So we've been barely getting to our destinations, actually maybe I'm over exaggerating. We've been getting to our supercharging stations with about 15% electricity each time, which just gives you a little nerves when you're in unknown areas. But here we are, so all is good right now. So here on the navigation screen, it's really simple. You just type in the address of where you're going, and it'll go ahead and work it all out, and it will also tell you down here your percentage of battery or where you are when you're going to get there. This is 248 kilometers, so it's going to be at 34%. Right now it's telling me I'm still charging, that I'm at 79% and I'll be done in 5 minutes. You see it says I've got 450 kilometers, and I think when it's all done, when it's at 100%, it puts it well over 500. But then it's saying after 248 we're going to be at 34%. So What I found is that this number is not very accurate. The total is well overstated. This number tends to be pretty accurate. And in fact, what it also does when you're driving is it manages expectations. I find that kind of fascinating. When you start a road trip and it says you're going to be under 20% when you get there, as you get close, it actually, in my experience, has climbed a few percent as you get close, because I think what it's doing is biding some extra time in case you mess up a little bit. You turn off the road, you get caught in a traffic jam, you get lost, whatever it may be. It does a really good job of kind of over managing your battery power. Ooh, it says charging complete at 80%, but I want to go to 100%, so I'm going to unplug and fix that. So what I've done here is I've unlocked the charge port. This thing is actually a little hot to the hand, kind of interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and open it back up again, see if I can get that extra 20% juice that I would like to have. Flashing blue, should start flashing green when it's charging. Yep, there we go. Okay, so it's another 25 minutes. Basically what I had to do was drag my finger here over from the 80% to the 100% range, if you see that. It only likes to do that if you're on a trip, if you see that. So, well, we're on a trip, so it's gonna be an extra 25 minutes here. Ready to go? So just typed in where we're going, okay, and this again shows you it's gone down quickly to 567, and I literally drove maybe 1 kilometer. But still, 200 kilometers to my destination says it'll be 55%, which again, that tends to be pretty accurate. So what I'm telling you is your real range on this thing is safely probably closer to 400 kilometers, not 600. That's 240 miles. When in Rome, as they say, Mick Cafe, drive-through. So this is cute. See this? Size of coffee cup. It is, you go to McDonald's, you ask for coffee, this is what you get. It's a 1 ounce shot of espresso. Hold on, let me get back in this lane. In the end, renting a Tesla Model 3 from Virtuo turned out to be a great idea. It was a way better value than any regular rental. Supercharger stations are usually at hotels with restaurants. The app is very intuitive, easy to use, and you never interact with any humans. You can set the vehicle and navigation to your language, and the navigation finds superchargers for you and helps plan your route. It helped us to feel comfortable driving in places we otherwise wouldn't have. A big win.